There's one big thing we can do to decrease the chances of running out of money in retirement. The problem that we see is that retirees know about it, but they fail to implement it the right way. Or they do it in a sort of a half-baked way that doesn't really get them the full benefit. So in this video, I want to give you the big risk that we face in retirement, and then the mistakes that retirees make when they're trying to avoid this risk, and then the actual strategy that delivers the real results. And then I'm going to show you an example of how the actual added return that this can provide to your nest egg if it's done right. Now, if you end up liking this video, this type of video that we kind of dive a little bit deeper into a specific strategy and how it impacts retirement, if you like it, let me know with a comment or a like, because that just helps me determine what type of videos are most helpful for you. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Dave Zoller, and I own a retirement planning firm called Streamline Financial with Tim and Luke and Sean. And we work with a select number of clients, but we created this channel to really share what's working with those successful retirees and then share it on this channel, both with their financial side and then also the non-financial side of retirement. So if you're finding that your advisor is mainly just focused on investments and not on the tax planning or the withdrawal strategy or things like that, look for a link below to have a call with us. So now let's get to the big risk we face when we get to retirement, and that is the sequence of returns risk. Now, please hold off just for a second on saying those 4 dangerous words of "I know this already," because this video is going to give you more than you know, I believe. And as a quick refresher, sequence of returns risk, this just means if you take 2 portfolios that average out to about the same long-term returns, if the sequence of returns is unfavorable in the first 5 to 10 years for one portfolio, I'll actually pull up an example. But if the sequence is unfavorable for one of them, there's a real danger that the ongoing distributions during those bad years could cause the nest egg to run out. But here's the good news. You're not going to let this happen to you because you're watching this video. But let me pull up an example here. Here's the result of, I believe we'll look at it in a sec, 30 years of 2 portfolios exactly the same, almost the same with rate of return, but then here's the actual details. Let me go back up to the top. 2 portfolios, everything is the same. See the investment amount, the allocation. Now, the only thing that changes, the other thing that's the same is the percent, the amount of withdrawals being 5,000. The thing that changes is the year that they retired. And we can see the difference here because the sequence of returns was end result close, about 1%, but you can see these first 5 to 10 years were a lot different than these 5 to 10 years. And then you can see one portfolio being exhausted. But let's get more to the mistakes that retirees make when they're trying to reduce this risk of sequence of returns. And it's actually something I talk about a lot on this channel, but the mistake that I see is applying the concept from this channel or from other places without applying the actual strategies that make it work. And I'll explain what this means. So the initial concept is the idea of the 3 bucket strategy. So you've heard it before maybe, where you've got 3 buckets and you've got a conservative, moderate, and maybe a growth bucket. And the idea is you've got a number of years of withdrawals in bucket number 1, that conservative bucket, so that you can use it if there's ever a longer than expected bad market scenario. What retirees miss is the strategy behind the scenes that's really delivering the results of that bucket strategy. Now, I'm not against the 3 bucket strategy. I like it a lot. I actually think that it's great. We review it with our clients regularly because it's just a quick snapshot to show where we are and kind of how we're allocated in terms of risk. And when we do it right, it increases the peace of mind while also making sure we're not missing out on future growth. As an example, back in March of 2020, we had a client call up and she was worried. You remember March of 2020, and she asked, she said, "I just retired. Should we be doing something different with the portfolio?" So I asked her, "Do you still need $10,000 a month in income?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Good. We've actually got over 7 years worth of withdrawals in the conservative bucket that's actually positive year to date." And she was like, "What? Really?" Oh, you could just feel the relief coming off, the burden coming off of her shoulders. And she said, "What a relief. Thanks so much." And she was back to feeling confident about her financial plan. So the bucket concept, it's a great snapshot. and a great way to add peace of mind quickly. It's easy to understand, explains exactly what we need to know quickly, and then, imagine it like you're behind the wheel of a car and you see the snapshot on the dashboard, and you've got some things, you've got the brake pedal and the gas pedal. Those are the two main things that you pay attention to, and that's what makes the car go. But in reality, the things that are powering the car, it's actually the engine, right? And all the components that go into that. And that engine has to be maintained and tuned. You can't ignore it. It's got to be maintained so that the car lasts a long time. So in this example, I don't know if it's a good analogy or not, but in this example, the three buckets are kind of like the car, right? And then the engine is rebalancing. But most retirees are not getting the full benefit of this rebalancing strategy. As an example from 2020, this is high level, the difference in results for a conservative portfolio came to over 2% that year in return. So imagine an unbalanced portfolio and then one that's rebalanced, and I'll give you some of the details, came to over 2% difference in return. And if you think about that for a minute, that's huge. I'm not the only one that I'm sure understands how big of a difference that is in a portfolio. Because with very little work, you could potentially have the ability to have a lot more added return in your portfolio during years like that or during future years. But here's the mistake that would cause us to miss out on that added value in years like that. It's a lot of retirees rebalance, but they don't have a system, or they try time-based rebalancing. So time-based rebalancing is once a year or every quarter, whatever it is. You say, for example, once a year, on January 1st, I rebalance my portfolio back to the original agreed upon portfolio. So if you did that in 2020, you wouldn't have seen the over 2% added value. The value in 2020 came from what we would call trigger-based rebalancing. Our clients know what this is, but if you haven't seen it, here's an example. And by the way, as I'm going over this can get kind of nerdy. This is the deep dive. I'll try to keep it high level, but don't feel bad if it's not soaking in. And if you're watching this and you want to apply this and other strategies to your retirement, but you don't want to be the one who's spending your valuable time learning it and then doing it, reach out to us by clicking the Get Started button on our website. There's a link below you could find. Because if you're like our clients, you're happy to trade the cost of hiring someone to do it for the added value that you get for implementing these kinds of strategies. So I'll explain the detailed part now, and then I'll leave you with one final important takeaway. So trigger-based rebalancing, that is, the value of each position in the portfolio is calculated at the end of the day, and then the value is translated into a percentage share of the overall portfolio. Then there's target weights which are set up, and then they're allowed to float by predetermined tolerance bands. So for example, let me draw it out really quickly here for you. For this example, if we've got one holding that's a 5% holding, and we've got plus 20 or minus 20% tolerance bands, then it's allowed to float between 4 and 6% before the rebalance happens. So for this conservative portfolio example, the unrebalanced portfolio in the example I mentioned was about 9.05% for the year. So the plus 20 minus 20% threshold saw relative performance of plus about 2.5% versus the unrebalanced portfolio. So that's a big difference. And then here's a big picture of wealth over time with rebalancing versus wealth without rebalancing. And this is a point in the past where you can really see the impact of what rebalancing means on a portfolio. And personally, I would say that this is more important now as you're moving into your retirement years of starting to withdraw money from your accounts versus maybe the last 20 or 30 years where you were just continually adding money. But as you can see, there's a link there too, just with the Kitsis article that kind of explains the benefit. And again, this is high level. These are, we're not getting into the full details of all the allocations and things like that, but this is an important thing to know. And there are a lot more important strategies to think about for these various accounts that you're going to have in retirement. So to see those, skip to minute 8:16 of this video here called the 7 types of accounts. Or if you'd rather see what it's like working with us, click on the Get Started button on our website. Either way, I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.